You're live.
Hello, my name is Caroline Liviakis and I am a Pilates instructor at ROC Pilates. Today I'm going to guide you through a bunch of exercises that target your glutes and your abdominals. The prop that we're going to use today is one of these non-burst balls. If you don't have one, you can always use kind of a rolled up towel or a little pillow as an alternative. And most of the exercises that we do don't technically need a prop anyway. The prop just adds a little bit of extra work. All right, so let's go and get started. So we are going to begin with some hip rolls. So we're going to begin with warming up our glutes. So you're going to put the ball between your thighs. Make sure they're a little bit away from your knees, so it's about up there. You're going to go ahead and find your neutral pelvis. So I have that little arch underneath my lower back. My hands are down onto the floor by the sides of the hips. Shoulders are wide. So before we get started, we want to just make sure that everything is in alignment. So you're going to go ahead and pull your ribs from the sides down and in together. You can use your exhale to help. So we're going to inhale through the nose, exhale. Hold the ribs down and in. Inhale to hold. Exhale. Inhale to hold. Exhale. Think of now your mid part of your belly. Pulling the sides of the belly in. Exhale. Let's go 2 more times. Exhale. And 1 more time. Exhale. So holding that, we should feel this compression from the sides of the tummy. We're going to use that with every exercise that we do today. So even if we're working the glutes, you're still finding that compression from the sides of the tummy. So now, keeping the ribs in, sides of the tummy pulled in, you're going to go ahead and tuck your pelvis, flattening that lower back down into the mat. Just hold this position here for a moment. Squeeze onto the ball just a little bit further. So giving a good squeeze there. We want to make sure that we're lengthening that lower back with your obliques. So right up here at the fronts of those hip bones, you want to make sure that your abdominals are activating. This is not coming from the glutes. We're soft back through here. And then just release. Let's do that 4 more times. So exhale, contract your abdominals. That lengthens your lower back. And we're just holding here. We want to make sure that we can hold this with our abdominals. That is the key to so many exercises we're going to do later. And arch. Exhale. Tuck the pelvis, hold here. Holding this position, you're pulling the sides of the tummy in and release. Last one. Exhale, cinching in, holding here for 3, 2, and 1. Release. Now, go ahead and squeeze the ball a little bit more. Using your abdominals, tuck your pelvis. Roll your hips all the way up into a bridge position. I'm squeezing the ball right here. Lift your hips up a little bit higher, and notice that I'm lifting from my glutes, not from my lower back. So that's me pressing up from my lower back. This is me pressing up from my hips. I feel a lot more glute and hamstring work that way. Tuck the pelvis, slowly articulate back on down. Exhale, contract your abdominals, rolling those hips up all the way, squeezing the ball here. And then go ahead and slowly roll back on down, arch through the lower back. And really use this as an opportunity to focus on that articulation through the spine, particularly your upper back here. So roll through the top of the rib cage, through that mid back. I'm still tucking my pelvis here as I'm rolling down. And then you release. 3 more. Because here is our warm-up. Press those hips up a little bit higher. As I'm rolling down through my upper back, I'm trying to keep the press of the hips up even more. And tuck and roll up. Still squeezing the ball with all my might. Even as we're rolling down, squeezing the ball a little bit extra. Finding the neutral. 1 last time. Rolling those hips up, pushing your hips up here, squeeze the ball a little bit more as you're then rolling back on down. Okay, so now we're gonna roll those hips all the way up to the top and hold up there. I'm squeezing my glutes, lifting my hips up even taller. Think of lengthening through your knees. I'm lengthening through the crown of the head. I'm gonna go ahead and lift both of my heels up. Both heels lift, holding here. Slowly lower the heels down. Both heels lift up all the way. And heels lower. I'm spreading my toes, and make sure that most of your weight is on the big toe. So we're not fanning out to the sides here of the ankles. Keep your weight straight forward on those feet. So the key here, you should be feeling a lot of glutes at this point. The key here is that the hips need to stay at the same height the whole time. So as I'm lifting my heels, my hips shouldn't lift any further. As I'm lowering my heels, my hips should not lower, so we don't want that. Keep those hips lifted, and you'll notice that your hips are going to start to want to sink down and relax through this exercise. You're going to keep your attention on maintaining that hip height. And 8, and 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Tuck the pelvis, rolling on down. Here we go. We're going to go and roll those hips back up. We have another variation. Hips up here. Now I'm going to lift my left heel up all the way. Lift the right heel up, lower the left heel down. Lift the left heel up, lower the right heel down. So we're going to lift in the center. Lift. So we're prancing through the feet. At one moment in time, there should be both heels lifted. So we're going one heel at a time. Now here, not only are we trying to keep those hips lifted at the same height the whole time, but we're going to not let our hips twist. So when my left heel lowers, don't let the left hip dip down with it and twist. We should be feeling a lot of hamstrings and glutes here. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Both heels lift, and then tuck and roll on down. Tuck your knees in your chest. Just give that lower back just a momentary stretch. Let's bring the feet back on down. Okay, so now we're going to lift those hips back on up. We have variation number 3, hip twist. I'm squeezing my ball still. Go ahead and lift your left hip up to twist your hips to the right. So I'm imagining that my hips are kind of like a steering wheel in the car. And I'm just slightly veering to the right, slightly veering to the left. So it's not a full dip down like this. Very, very small movement. As you do this, the inner thigh work just becomes super intense if you're keeping the squeeze consistent. Same with those glutes. And 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Tuck the pelvis, rolling back on down. Nice job. Okay, final version here. Tuck your pelvis, roll your hips all the way up. We're going to squeeze the ball as much as we can, holding here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release and squeeze. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release and squeeze in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release and squeeze. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release and squeeze in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release and squeeze in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release, squeeze in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release and squeeze. Last one. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Tucking the pelvis, rolling down. Good. Okay, let's just take the ball to the side just for now. We're going to warm up those abdominals a little bit. So, you're going to reach your fingertips away towards your hips. Nod your chin. Lengthen that lower back into the mat. Curl your upper body up. So you're resting there on your sacrum. Feet are down, so make sure you're not starting to use those hip flexors to help you get up higher. roll back on down. Exhale, cinch the sides of the tummy in. Flex yourself up and forward, holding here. And slowly releasing back down. Exhale. Pelvis tucks, lifting up even higher, holding here. And slowly lowering back down. So you're initiating this from the cinch. Cinching the sides of the tummy in. Lifting up and holding. Lowering back down. 4 more times. Lifting up from your shoulders and your ribs. And down. Exhale. Hold here. And down. Hold. And down. Final one. Holding up here. And lowering back down. Now, flex up and forward. Holding here. Right arm comes up. And down. And left. And down. And right. And down. And left. And down. And 6, 5, 4, keep the chest lifted, 3, and 2, last one, lowering your chest back down. Exhale, pull your ribs down and in, lift yourself up a little higher this time. We have both arms, circles, 4, 3, 2, 1, reverse. 4, 3, 2, 1. Lowering back down. We have one more set. Here we go. Ribs pull down and in. Holding here. We have 4, 3, 2, 1. Reverse. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lowering back on down all the way. Now you're going to go ahead and tuck the pelvis, lift the legs up into a tabletop position. So we want knees over the hips. Make sure they're not tucking in like this. You want those knees over those hips, toes are pointed. Let's start with arms up toward the ceiling. I'm going to open my left thigh out to the left side, bring it back on in. Right thigh opens out to the right side, close it back in. So now as I'm doing this, it very well can feel like, what the heck are we doing? This doesn't feel like much if you're not focusing on the proper places. So as I open my left leg out to the left side, I'm thinking of keeping my right hip down. So my right hip is not going to lift up and twist here. Keep that right hip down. And you do that by using your obliques. So as I open my left leg, I'm thinking obliques there on the right side are keeping my right hip down. As I open my left or my right leg out to the right side, left obliques. So left leg out, think of the right side. Right leg out, think of the left side. So you want to focus on that contraction there on the opposite side so that you're keeping your hips completely still, regardless of this leg movement. Exhale out. Inhale in. 4, 3, and 2. One more time. Hands can come down. Let's go ahead and toe tap. Down and up. Now, even though it's called toe tap, I don't want you to actually touch the floor. Touching the floor makes it easier. So as the leg is reaching, you're thinking of pulling your hip bones up toward your ribs. So we're not going to let that lower back increase its arched position. And exhale, down. And I'm reaching down away toward the edge of my mat. So we're not doing this, okay? Let's go 6 more. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Tuck those knees on in all the way and roll through that lower back. Okay, grab your ball, put it between your knees. Legs are in your tabletop position. Arms are up toward the ceiling. Now I'm squeezing my thighs all the way together into the ball. Twist your hips hips over to the left. Arms and chest are staying up toward the ceiling. And exhale, pull your hips back into the center. Twist the hips over to the right. Arms and chest are staying up toward the ceiling. Squeeze the ball a little bit more as you come back in the center. Twisting over to the left. Holding here for 3, 2, 1. Bringing it back in. Twisting over to the right. Holding here. Take the knees away from your chest for 3, 2, 1. And center. Twisting over to the left. Holding here for 3, 2, 1. Center to the right. Twisting and hold. 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful. Bring it back into center. Set your feet on down. Okay. Now, we're going to put the ball underneath the left heel. Scooch back a little bit. Okay, so this is all about activating around your sits bone here on the left side. So if you need to find where it is, an easy way to do that is pull your left knee in toward your chest and then just kind of feel around back here in your butt. So not up here on the thigh, not here onto the lower back. It should be, if your back is down, it should be really obvious right here, this big bone sticking out right there. That's your sits bone right there. It should feel kind of pointy. So that's where we want to squeeze around. So you can even try here, try to squeeze in your fingertips right there. You should feel this activation happening underneath, and then just release. And squeeze, and release. 2 more times, squeeze and hold, and release. 1 more time, squeeze and hold, and release. So now, with that spot in mind, you can keep your fingertips here on your sits bone, or if you're really solid with where it is, just keep remembering and keeping your attention toward it with your brain. You're going to squeeze right into that spot around your sits bone. I'm going to use that squeeze to push my heel down into the ball as much as I possibly can. So I'm thinking sits bone to heel, pushing down, down, down into the ball. Holding here. Push the heel down a little bit more and release. Squeezing there around the sits bone, pushing the heel down. Pushing the heel down a little bit more. This is one of those exercises you will get out of it what you put into it. So if you're barely pushing down into the ball, if you're not squeezing from your glute in the right spot, it's not going to feel like anything. But if you're truly pushing down as much as you can and you're squeezing from the right spot, this is an extremely intense exercise. So really make sure you're focusing on the right spot here. Push that heel down a little bit more, holding here. Push down a little bit further. Even further, holding here for 3, 2, 1. Release. And here we go again. Squeezing first around the sits bone, then from that connection, then you push the heel down. Push down a little bit more. And a little bit more. And a little bit more. Holding here for 3, 2, 1. And release. Okay, final one. Squeeze there around that sits bone. Try to push the ball down even further this time. I'm pushing all the way through the ball. Holding here. Push down a little bit further for 3, 2, and 1. Okay, so now I'm going to squeeze there into my glutes on the left. I'm going to push and roll the ball. Oopsies. Sometimes you're going to have to readjust actually quite a bit through this exercise. It's one of the annoying parts about it, but otherwise it's so worth it. So you're going to squeeze there around the glutes, roll the ball out all the way. I'm straightening my knee. I'm pushing my heel down into the ball to roll it back in. So I'm pushing the ball away, and then I'm rolling it back in. Pushing down into the ball to roll out. Pushing down into it to roll it back in. On that roll in, you should feel a lot of hamstrings. That's basically a hamstring curl right there. Pulling down and in. This is, again, one of those exercises. You will get out of it what you put into it. So if you're letting the ball release at any moment through this leg extension here or through this hamstring curl, you're not going to be getting what you should be out of this exercise. So continuously press down, through each inch of the straightening and bending of the knee. Pushing down, especially as that knee starts to straighten. Pushing down into the ball to pull it back in. And pushing it out all the way. Pushing down into the ball to pull back in. Let's go 2 more times. Still squeezing around the glutes here. 1. Pulling it in all the way. Push down even more this time. Pushing it away. And pulling it back on in. Okay, so now we might have to adjust from there. So go ahead and adjust your foot. Now we're going to go into our bridges with a foot on the ball. So flexing that left foot, you're going to squeeze around the sits bone on the left side. Push your left heel down into the ball and then push your hips up into your bridge. I'm putting equal weight in my right foot and my left. So just because my left foot is on a ball does not mean I'm not going to put weight on it. Push your left heel down even more. Holding up here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly set those hips back down. Let's do it again. Right heel presses down into the ball. Make sure you're squeezing up from your glutes. The hamstrings will fire second. Push those hips up a little bit higher. Holding up here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Set your hips back on down. Let's go again. Heel presses down. Lift those hips up. Holding up here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And 1 more time. Pressing those hips back up. Pushing that heel down even further this time. Holding up here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, let's go ahead and go to the right side. Okay, so now find your sits bone there on the right side. So pull the right knee in all the way. Locate your sits bone there on the right. So it should be not on your lower back. It's just sticking out there right at your butt. Should be a very obvious pointy surface. So you're gonna just practice a couple times squeezing there into your fingertip. Make sure you have that squeeze really solid. So I'm right now squeezing and releasing. That feels pretty solid. So I'm gonna now rest my heel onto the ball and I'm ready to go with the exercise. So my heel is on the ball. I'm gonna squeeze into my fingertips first, and then push my heel down into the ball. And I'm trying to figure out how you can see this best. I'm just gonna keep my left leg up in a tabletop position so you can see what I'm doing with my right leg. So push that right heel down into the ball. Keep your left leg down. This is just for show right now. And squeeze around the sits bone on the right. I'm pushing my right heel down. Pushing down, holding here. Push down even a little bit more. And release. Squeeze there into the sits bone. Press that right heel down. Push the heel down even more. Holding here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release. Let's go 2 more times. Squeezing there. Hold. Now push the ball down from that squeeze. So we're connecting that sits bone and the heel. Think of pulling those 2 points in toward each other. Holding here for 3, 2, 1. Release. And squeeze. From that squeeze, you're pushing that heel down. Think of drilling your heel down into the floor. Holding here for 3, 2, 1. Let's go one last time. Push the heel down. Holding here for 3, 2, and 1. Okay, release. Now, adjust your ball. You're going to go ahead and push the heel down, rolling the ball away, straightening the knee completely. Go ahead and push the heel down into the ball to roll it back on in. And here we go. Pushing the ball down as you roll it away and rolling it on back in. Rolling it away. It's going to make these little noises. And pushing down as you're rolling it back on in. Pushing it away. And pushing down even more as you're rolling it back in. 4 more times. Away. Now push down even more as you're rolling it back in. and 3. You should feel that hamstring there, especially as you pull back in. And 2 more times. Away. And pushing down even more as you're rolling in. Last one. Away. And pulling it back in. Now adjust your ball here. I'm going to push my, now I have to put my left foot down. So now I'm going to push my right heel down equally as much as my left foot is pushing into the floor. I'm going to push my hips up, 50-50, even distribution of the weight on both feet. Holding up here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower the hips back on down. Here we go. Squeezing the glutes on the right. Pushing both of your hips up. Let's go up here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lowering back down. And pushing that right heel down. Lifting your hips up. Holding up here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Setting back down. Final one. Here we go. Pressing that right heel down. Holding up here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Setting the hips down. Pull that ball on in all of the way. Let's go ahead and do one more thing here. You're going to tuck your pelvis. Lift your legs up into a tabletop position. You're going to extend your right leg straight forward. And bend. Left leg. And bend. And right. And bend. So as the legs are extended, you're pulling those hip bones up, 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 up toward your belly button. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Flex up. Extend and extend. And we have 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Go ahead and lower back on down. Let's come on up. We're going to take the ball. We're going to go ahead and come into a seated position, and come on up over here. Okay, so I'm sitting on my mat with my lower back down into the mat. My upper body is up here on the ball, so the ball is between the shoulder blades. So I'm going to go ahead and open my elbows out all the way to the sides. Lift the chest forward and up, arching your upper back, lifting your sternum up as much as you can. This should just feel like a really lovely chest opening. Stretch between your ribs and for your shoulders. We're just going to hang out here for a second. Let your back just release into this. And exhale, pull your ribs down and in, flex yourself up. Here we go again. Lifting yourself up and back, holding up here. Exhale, pull the ribs down and in, lifting up. Now if you notice, I'm not cranking up like this. Elbows are still wide to the sides. Let's go ahead and do that again. Lift the chest up and back. Arching up through here, and exhale, pull your ribs down and in, and let's go again. Lifting up and back, flexing up. Now we're going to go and arch, up and back, hold here. Just give yourself a few wiggles to release. This is a big arch in that upper back right here. Now, I'm going to go ahead and twist over to the right. So when I'm twisting, I'm not pulling the elbow over. I'm thinking of pulling the left side of my rib cage over to the right. And then I come back arching in the center. The right side of my rib cage, I'm pulling that over to the left. Coming back into the center. And twist twisting over and holding. Coming back into the center. Exhale, twist over and hold. Back in the center. And twist and hold. Back in the center. Hold. And 6 more. 6. And 5. And 4, hold. And 3, hold. Holding actually makes it harder. And 2. And back. One more time. And back. Good. Reach those arms up overhead. Stretching your ribs up. Circle the arms around. Flex the upper body up and forward. Now I'm just going to scooch my hips down and forward a little bit. My right leg is going to lift up into a tabletop position. So arms are reaching. If your neck at any point gets tired, you can just go and support it with your arms. We're going to go ahead and let's just start with extend and bend and extend. Let's just get our technique down before we add more choreography. As I'm doing this, I'm extending my leg and I'm pulling up with my obliques here, lengthening that lower back. So we're not letting the back release there. I'm not letting this happen as my leg extends. Now let's add some choreography. Dip the right toe down and kick up. Dip the toe down and up and down and up, down and up. So straightening the knee all the way, and then you kick it up. The entire time you're keeping those hips still. Down and up, and we have 4 and up and 3 and up and 2 and up. One more time. Reverse. Straight leg down, bend and extend up. Straight down and up. Down and up. Down and up, and we have 4, 3 and 2. Last one. Set the leg down. Let's lift the left leg up. So let's work on our posture here with a simple movement. So I'm lengthening my leg away. I'm pulling up with my obliques here. So contract those abdominals even more intensely as the leg is extending. Exhale. Inhale to bend. 4 more times. 4, 3, 2, 1. Dip the toe down. Here we go with a little bit of choreography. Straight leg down, kick it up. Down and up. Down and up. And down and up. Down and up. Down and up. Let's go. 4, 3 and 2. Last one. Reverse. Down and up. Straight leg down. Bend to kick up. Down and up and down and up, and we have 4 and 3 and 2. Last one. Very nice. Good. Give yourself an arch up over the ball right here. Hands are going to come behind the head, opening those elbows wide to the side. Okay, so now you're going to roll the ball a little bit further up on those shoulder blades. I'm going to squeeze my glutes, lift my hips up, and lowering back down. Squeeze the glutes, press those hips up, and lower. And hips up, and lower. Up, and lower. So I'm squeezing through the hamstring glute connection, which is the fold right there underneath the butt. That's where I'm pressing up from. Up through there. If your quads are slightly on the tight side, you are going to feel a little stretch here through the fronts of the legs. Now make sure as you're pressing up, I'm thinking of magnetizing my thighs in toward each other. So I'm not letting them splay out. That's exaggerating, but really activate through your inner thighs. 6 and 5 and 4, 3, push them up all the way, and 2, and hold up here, 1. We dip down and up and down and up, down and up, down. So just 2 inches of movement, down and up, and we have 10 and 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower those hips on down. Lift your hips back up. We're going to tuck and arch and tuck and arch, tuck and arch. So it's just my pelvis moving while up here. There's a ton of squeeze right up there at that hamstring glute connection for this movement. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower the hips on down. Lovely. Let's go and put the ball to the side. So if you want more of a, we're going to go sideline here. So if you want to feel more of a pillow kind of feeling, you can always put the ball here if that feels good to you. But ideally, you're going to be resting here on your arm. So let's go ahead and first find our line. We're going to be working the side of the hip right here, so the glute medius. So in order to get that, we have to really, really be strict on our posture, on our line here that we're creating, especially with our leg. So whenever I say keep parallel, I mean keep the front of the knee and the fronts of the foot forward. So that right there is what we're trying to avoid. We don't want to have that leg even here. That's way too much. I'm going to have you emphasize medial rotation, which is a rotation inward as the leg is lifting, which means that you're going to feel it quite a lot more up here. If you don't do that, then this is not going to feel nearly as intense as it would be, and this is a pretty intense exercise, or set of exercises. So my legs are straight out. I'm finding my straight line with my body. I'm squeezing my glutes here, pushing my hips forward. I'm just going to start simple, lifting the top leg up and lowering down. Top leg lifts up and down. Now as I'm lifting up and down, I am rotating my thigh even more medially as the leg is lifting. So that doesn't just mean the toes. It means the thigh itself is rotating down and in as it comes up. So this is not about how high you can lift the leg. This is about how much can you lift the leg up with that alignment. So kicking it up like this, we're not working what we should be. So already you should start to feel some work up through the side of the hip. If not, check in with your alignment. Are you doing this correctly? And if you are, then just give it a little bit more time. Sometimes it takes a little bit to get this warmed up. 4 more times. 4 and 3, 2. Now hold up here. 1. We're going to draw tiny little circles going forward. Now the whole time you're doing this, keep your hips still. We have 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Reverse. Back, 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 and 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Set the leg down, pat your hip out for a second. We're going to do another set. Here we go. Lift that top leg up. We have going forward 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Reverse. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Reverse. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Woo! That's a lot of hip work right there. Okay, so now you're gonna take your right foot just slightly forward, so kind of to the front corner of my mat. That's just gonna give you a little more stability. My left leg is just straight up here, following the straight line of my body. I'm gonna kick my right leg forward and back, and forward, and back. Now, as I'm doing this, my pelvis is not moving, so I'm not moving my hips or my upper body around. Keep your hip completely still. At the same time, I am keeping my leg at hip height. So that, if you notice, I was just cheating right there. That's cheating. This right here is how high it should be. Kick forward and back. That's where the work comes in, is keeping that leg up at hip height. Forward and back. We have 6 and 5, 4 and 3, 2 and 1. Let's kick it back. We're going to hold back there. Squeeze back and back, back and back, and we have 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring the leg on in. We're going to go ahead and bring the feet in together. Take your knees on back a little bit so your knees are almost in line with your hips. Those feet are going to stay together. I'm going to rotate my top knee up and down, and up and down. Now, as I'm rotating the top knee up, keep your top hip forward. So I'm not going to let the hip move back just because my knee is opening. We're working on our hip stability as well as our glutes here. And open and down. Now with this, it's all about that range of motion. Don't go too fast. Open that knee up a little bit further this time, a little bit further, and a little bit further, then slowly release down. And all the way up to that same spot, and slowly back down. All the way up, slowly back down. And we have 10, and down, and 9, and 8, 7, and 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, one more time, 1, beautiful. Okay, we have another hip to work through. Here we go, up and over to the other side. Okay, so find your straight line all the way, squeeze your glutes, whoopsies, pressing your legs on back. So if you're in the right spot, you will feel like you're about to topple over, but your abs and your glutes have you solid. So keeping our parallel position with the legs, so make sure this isn't happening. You're rotating the thigh in and down. Let's go ahead and lift that top leg up and lower back down, and up, and down, and up, and down. Use your breath, lengthening through the bottom leg and your arm. So as I'm lifting my right leg, I'm trying to lengthen it first. It lengthens, then it lifts. And up. Good. And some sides you will feel a little bit stronger than others. So like for instance, for this side, I already feel my right hip kicking in. It's already working. And 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lift that top leg up. Let's go circles forward. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Reverse. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Give it a moment. You can pat out your hip. We've got 2 more sets, and we're going to do these now consecutively. Okay, lengthen the leg out all the way. Here we go. We have 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and 10. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and 10. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and 10. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. Left leg, lengthen it forward to the front corner of your mat. Lift that right leg up, flex the foot. Take your right leg forward and kick it back, squeezing the glutes there. And forward, and back, and forward. Now the whole time I'm doing this, I'm keeping my right leg up at hip height, and I'm keeping parallel. And back, and forward, back, forward, back, and forward. 4 more times. 4, and 3, 2, and 1. Back. We have kick back and back, back and back, and we have 10. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, bring your knees on back, ankles are in together. You're gonna go ahead and rotate your top knee up and open and down, and open and down, and open and down. Now each time you're gonna try to open all the way up. So we're all about increasing that range of motion. Open up all the way, hold here, open up a little bit further, and slowly back down. And open and down. Let's go. We have 10. Down and 9, 8. Each time open a little bit further. 7 and 6, 5, 4, 3, and let's go 2, all the way up and down. One more time. Up, all the way up and down. Beautiful. Okay, go ahead and tuck your knees on in toward your chest. And let's go ahead and roll on up. Okay, we're gonna do a final abdominal sequence here. So, you're gonna go ahead and reach your arms straight forward, tuck your pelvis to roll back, curving and lifting straight up, tucking back and forward and up. Pelvis is tucking to roll back, curve forward, straight up and back, forward and up. So I'm initiating the movement from my pelvis. I'm not just passively leaning back from my upper body. And up, pelvis rolls under, curve forward, and up. 2 more times. Curve forward, and up, and back. Curve forward, and up, and back. Curve forward, and up. Now, we tuck to roll back, hold here. You're gonna arch, and tuck, and arch, and tuck, and tuck. So I'm just moving my pelvis, and we have 10. And 8, keep the shoulders away from the ears. And 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Curving forward and up. Okay, now we're gonna add an oblique twist. Tuck the pelvis, roll back. Swing the right arm back, twisting as much as you can, holding here for 3, 2, 1. Into the center and up, back. Twist and hold, 3, 2, 1. Center, up. Twist, 3, 2, 1. Center, up. One more time, back. Twist, 3, 2, 1. Center, and up. Twist to back, holding here. We're gonna twist to the right, and left, and right, left. 8 more, we have 8. And 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring yourself on forward into a stretch. Opening those knees out to the sides, lengthening your lower back down, and roll on up all the way. All right, that is it. Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for joining me, and hope to see you in class.